kind of always something I've put off talking about online because I know a lot of people kind of snub their nose at it. I got my fringe cut today and I'm really, really freaking regretting it. Like, I look like bloody Spock. Like, what is this? The situation? This is too short for my liking. The struggles of being an owner of a fringe. Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back. So friends, today I'm going to be answering questions I've been avoiding, or answering questions that I usually avoid answering. And I do apologise about my fringe. It is atrocious. I am aware. Okay, you don't need to tell me. So the first question is, are you still moving out of home? And this was quite a reoccurring question. So I'm sure you know, about over 2 months ago now, I made a video talking about how I'd be moving out of home. And you're probably like, bitch, Jessica, you're still in home. You're still in the same filming background. Well, we have got a bit of an update with the moving situation, so we have finally found an apartment. Finally, after literally over 3 months of looking and going to viewings, we actually did get an apartment like over a month ago, but that one actually ended up falling through because the current tenants that were in the apartment were buying a house and their sale didn't go through, so therefore our move-in date was delayed. But we have found another apartment now and I absolutely adore it, and I'm moving out in 4 days. 4, that's 8. 4 days. Honestly, I'm so excited. Emotions have been running pretty high today because I actually only found out yesterday that we got the place, and we're going to be getting the keys in 4 days, and then moving starts, moving vlogs, moving process, home decor. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, because I personally am very excited at the thought of filming that content. But yeah, I'm actually going to winter in the city on Friday and I won't be back until Sunday, so I'm literally going to be home so late, and then I'm going to be up Monday packing my bags, packing all my things and moving up to Dublin. And I'm not going to lie, the next week and a half, 2 weeks are going to be an emotional roller coaster for me. Oh my god, the thought of leaving my little dog is like, I don't know, it's just tugging on my heartstrings a bit, because I've had her for 12 years. I got her for my 10th birthday. She sleeps in the bed with me most nights. And yeah, it's just gonna like break my heart leaving her, and I can't bring her with me because she's so old and she's proper settled here. And yeah, it's just a proper new start, a proper new chapter, and I'm so excited for the content I'm going to be able to film now that when I move out, because I'm going to have a lot more freedom, a lot more space, a lot more independence, because I'll just be in the apartment on my own during the day, so you know, I'll be able to do what I want. So the next question is, did you get lip filler or surgery? So I felt like I had to put this in here because it's actually a recurring question that I get quite often. A lot of people think I've had Botox, filler, like had a nose job. Lip filler is the most common one, but I've actually had nothing done. I've never had filler, Botox, any surgery, no nose job, no nothing like that. And these are my natural lips. I do have quite big, juicy lips, and I understand why people would think I have filler, because if I pout or anything, like, they do look pretty fake because they are pretty big. But no, I haven't had anything done, and I would be very honest with you guys, had I have ever had anything done. I honestly have absolutely nothing against anyone who gets any filler or surgery or whatnot done, but I genuinely don't think I'd ever be able to do it, mainly because I'm too much of a pussy when it comes to needles and surgery and like putting myself through that voluntarily. Honestly, kudos to you girls. Like, anyone who can do that, kudos to you, because I wouldn't be able. Like, I would not be able. The next one is, do you generally eat very little? Now, this is something, again, that does be quite reoccurring, is like my food intake, what I eat, do I not eat? And honestly, like, it is quite an insulting thing to say to somebody, like, especially when you consider that a lot of people do have eating disorders and stuff. But no, I don't generally eat very little. I eat a very like normal healthy amount day to day. The only time when I would eat quite little is if I'm in a really low place, or I'm really struggling, or something big has happened in my life and I'm feeling very down. Like, my appetite can be affected if I'm feeling really low on myself. But apart from that, I do eat very normal, like very average. Like, I definitely do consume the amount of calories that I need to in a day. The next one is, have you ever felt suicidal? And it's actually a question that I have been asked a lot ever since I started my YouTube channel, and I've been very open about my mental health issues with depression, anxiety and whatnot. But I don't think I've ever answered this online, but yes, I have felt suicidal in the past, quite a number of times, and it's something I've never actually gone into much detail about, mainly because it's quite a dark time of my life and a very personal time, and I can get quite emotional talking about it. But I do know that it's something that a lot of people go through and a lot of people experience. So let me know down below if you'd be interested in me kind of talking more in depth in that, maybe in like its own video, kind of going into detail about my story and whatnot. And you know, it might help a few people out there, I don't know, but yeah. Next one is, do you have a job other than YouTube? So I've been doing YouTube 3 years now. Would you believe that? I actually cannot believe that. And when I first started YouTube, I did also have a part-time job, and I had been in that part-time job for a few years prior to starting YouTube, and I kept that part-time job up until last September, and I left my part-time job last September to do YouTube and this full time. It's kind of always something I've put off talking about online because I know a lot of people kind of snub their nose at it and they're like, that's not a real job and how is that a job and all this, and a lot of people are very nasty towards people in this line of work. But I feel so lucky that I was able to leave my part-time job to pursue this full time. Like, YouTube has literally been something I've wanted to do since I was 12 or 13, and when I started YouTube 3 years ago, I had just left school and I wasn't in a good place in myself, and I was only mainly starting YouTube because it was something I'd always wanted to do and I had such a passion for. And I felt very lonely at the time. I didn't really have many friends at all, and it was nearly like just an outlet for me to express myself and to relate to other people and other people to relate to me and kind of form that kind of internet family. I don't know, but that is why I started my channel. Like, I never thought it would go anywhere. Like, I remember when I got like 5,000 subscribers, I was literally like, wow, like this is just amazing. I never thought I would get here, and like if I never gain any more than this, I would just be delighted. You know, that I even had like a few thousand people who were interested in watching me and cared what I had to say. Like, to me, that was just like mind blowing. So yeah, last year I was really like toying, do I do it, do I not do it? And honestly, like, there was a point last year where I was starting to really struggle to do YouTube because like I was working in this job, I could be working 4 or 5 days a week, and then on my 2 or 3 days off I'd just be doing YouTube and I'd be having no time off, and I just completely burnt myself out because I wasn't having any of that like time for myself with like my family, my friends, or anything like that. I was literally just like working all the time and then doing YouTube on my free days because it was what I loved. So last year I was just kind of like, feck it, I'm gonna take a chance. I'm still so young, and yeah, I'm still doing this full time, and I really do have you guys to thank for that, and I'm so grateful. But you know, it's not just YouTube kind of is what my job is. Like, I would do a lot of stuff behind the scenes that doesn't have anything to do with YouTube as well. Does that make sense? So there would be stuff that I'd be doing that you wouldn't see, like you would never see, but it does be happening back there. So yeah, there's a lot that's involved in it. But I absolutely love it. What's the thing you regret most, in the moment or after? And okay, I would say one of the things that I definitely regret most, and it would have been after it happened, would have been giving somebody else like the power to basically destroy me. Like, giving so much of myself to somebody else that they were basically more in control of me than I was. Does that make sense? Like, basically just letting somebody completely walk all over me and take away who I was, to the point where after I had to literally, it felt like, rebuild myself from scratch up. Why don't you show your family in your videos? In the past, I have had like requests to do videos with my parents and whatnot, and like asking why do I never like involve my parents in my videos or really talk about my parents or anything like that, because I know a lot of YouTubers, oh, is it recording? Oh, it's still recording. I was checking if the mic was recording. I know a lot of YouTubers do involve their family and their parents and whatnot, and it's quite a popular thing to do here on YouTube. But honestly, the main reason for it is that my family, they're just quite private people, and I completely respect that. Like, a lot of people are very private. Like, I'd even say I'm quite a private person, and you're probably there like, Jessie, you literally share your life on the freaking internet, how are you private? But in a lot of ways, in like certain aspects in my life, I would be a super private person, and I think there's absolutely nothing wrong like that with that. Like, we're all different, like everybody's unique, you know, and we all have our quirks and our perks. Have you ever had a smear screening done under 25 by going private? I thought this was a great question, and one, to also just remind people to get their smear test done, and two, just to talk about the topic because it's a super important one. So I actually was going to get one done privately. I'd say like a year and a half ago. I actually had booked my appointment on 2 different occasions, and on 2 different occasions I ended up cancelling it because I was just petrified and I just terrified myself completely. And then also my doctor was like, well, you don't really need to get it done because you're only like 20, or I was like 20 at the time. He was like, you know, you don't need to get it done until you're 25. So then like he kind of like persuaded me in my mind. I was like, I don't need to get this done, it's no big deal, it's fine. But it was like solely just because I was petrified. But I think I 100% will go and get a smear done privately before I'm 25, because I'm 22 in like 3 months, so it's like another 3 years before I get a screening, and that's a very long time. Like, I honestly think it's ridiculous that you have to be 25 to get a smear screening done, because I know somebody who's my own age, and she got one done privately, and she did actually have abnormal cells. So I don't know why they put it at 25. Like, I feel like it should be at like 20, because there's no age limit on these kinds of things. Okay friends, I think I'm gonna leave it at that today because I feel like I just poured my heart out. I know. Okay, so there are still a lot more questions, so if you'd be interested in a part 2, I could most definitely do that when I've maybe got a bit of a longer fringe and I don't feel so embarrassed sitting here. Don't look at me. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed, maybe learned something new about me, and I cannot wait to see you all in my next video. Love you all so very much. Bye bye friends.